Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we take about 20 minutes, get into some interesting, this week, they're crazy stories. By the way, did you know we're on IMDb? I'll give you a link in a minute. Every week, if you have a story you want to tell us, Creation Station at broward.org. Today, my guest is Paul Hodges. How are you doing, Sir Paul?
Very good, very good. How are you doing today, Bob?
I'm doing good. Some people who follow this show might also know who you are because you do like a tremendous amount of online shows for the main library.
I try. Luckily, I work at a great place where they appreciate what I do, and I'm just glad to be here. Glad to be on your show. Glad to be indoors.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be in the air conditioning. It's all good.
The weather's not been the best down here in South Florida the most recent days.
It's all good.
We're a lot better off than Colorado. 2 foot of snow.
No. Poor people.
Just no.
Goodness.
Just
goodness
no.
Gracious.
Yeah. But speaking of snow and craziness out there in the cold, we did a breaking story today that just happened about noonish. Another submarine went missing, this time in Antarctica. You'll remember from last year, the big, huge submarine, the big story about the submarine that went missing down near the Titanic. This is not that kind of story. This is a submarine that is unmanned. It's a robotic submarine. It's not even tethered, so it's fully robotic. But the reason this is really important is, one, it is one of only 3 on the planet. So we just lost a third of the research vessels for Earth.
And those things aren't cheap.
No. Oh, no. Let me see if I can find that actual cost. It is... They're going out for a new grant for it because let me see if I got it here. No, it's on the other one. The other story here, this is what it looks like. And it is just over 20 foot long. But it is 38 million.
Oh.
Yeah. So what happened was they sent it under the ice shelf and Antarctica. It's called the Doomsday Ice Shelf because if it melts, it's going to really screw up the world. Yep. Ocean levels just go up like by 1.5 feet within a days.
Yep. Younger Dryas, part 2.
Yeah. That's going to just be a mess. So it was going underneath there. It started off just fine. It got in deep enough and far enough in where it couldn't send any data back, and something happened and it never made it back out. And it's supposed to come out on its own. So that is a problem.
Oh.
So there is just that one story for you because that is the bonus story for the day that is now into the chat for everybody.
That is crazy.
Crazy. I'm just like flabbergasted that we only had 3. You would think of all the research people going out there doing all of the different stuff, we'd have like, I'm not saying hundreds, but a dozen or 2 dozen.
Yeah, we'd have a fleet at least.
Yeah. And this is like it. It's not like 3 for the United States, 3 on the whole planet, which is why I was like, wait, what?
oh man. I hope they find that thing, or at least.
No, that's not. They're not going to. I think one of the great lines of there is, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack when you don't know where the haystack is.
Yep.
Because it could be anywhere in tens of thousands, 100,000 something square miles of ocean. That's under ice.
That's still the frontier. Yeah, under ice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. We make it any more complicated? I mean,
no, it's harder to live down there than it is in the space station right now. So yeah, it's just a crazy one. But moving on, we have another paranoid story for you coming up. Because do you think your phone's listening to you? I mean, I hope your phone's working, but if you've heard this idea that, oh no, don't talk, your phone or your smart speaker, I will not say the word for you, is listening to you and it's transmitting all the stuff and da-da-da-da. That's wrong. Did you ever believe this one, Paul?
I never believed it. And but I'm usually the fact checker in my family. I'll get emails from family members, and they know I'm the librarian, and they'll be like, "I heard this causes cancer, or this is," and I'll send them a link from Snopes and say all the things you have to worry about in the world. This is at the bottom of the list. No,
Yeah.
this is not true. Don't worry about it. But this is why we need good information to drown out the bad information.
Exactly. Exactly. So one of the reasons is that this story, this myth has been around for a while, and it really started to catch hold in 2016 when they talked about Facebook activating some things. But they also, in 2018, did a full comprehensive study of 17,000 apps available on Android and on iOS. And out of those 17,000 apps, 0 had access to the microphone without you granting access to the microphone and actively using it.
Correct. And everything on your phone, you have to give it permission to do anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So if you're like, wait, Bob, you should be talking about this more. We did. Back in 2021, we did a whole show on artificial intelligence and the algorithm and all that kind of good stuff. Links are in the show notes to our IMDb page or to the YouTube page if you want to go watch those shows again, refresh your memory on exactly what's happening with this and why. And the too long didn't read or didn't watch, I guess in this case, is you're not very exciting. Most people are very boring and very predictable, and they know that when you're looking for dining room tables, that means you're also going to be looking at dishes and chairs, and so they automatically start giving you ads for those things.
Correct. So
it's an easy one.
Yeah. And our phones do so much, so it's easy to give it an element of danger. It's easy for people to go, "Oh, your phone's listening," and it's
yeah. And I think too, it's very often how fast you're going or something like that, and what's happening to you in when you're doing your searches.
Yep.
So you need to kind of make sure that you are paying attention. And so I'm getting an error, fixing it right now. There we go. And so we're going to make sure that you get that chance to think about what's happening. Because as you said, you're using your phone for all this stuff. It doesn't matter if you didn't click on that ad.
Yep.
If you just slowed your scroll when you went by that ad, they're tracking that pixel and they know you paused. And so, hey, let's go jump in and give this to you. So, yeah, it's an interesting thing.
Very interesting.
The next other crazy tech story idea. I know.
This is why the Vulcans haven't made first contact with us yet.
It's just insanity. So the key to this story is people are getting the brand new Apple Vision Pro. It's a nice little device. They are using it, and some people are using it in their cars while they're driving.
Ugh.
Do not do this.
Please don't.
It's a bad idea.
Oh my
Don't.
Goodness. Oh. Yeah, like I said, the New York Times article, the guy in the video said he didn't have the Apple Vision Pro on. He was just making a little, according to him, this is his.
Yeah.
According to him, it was just a funny skit for social media, and I hope for his sake it was a gag. But you're in a car going 80 miles an hour with something blocking your vision, and you don't have your hands on the wheel. You're just asking for trouble, and so
it is insanely stupid.
Very. Please don't do this. Please don't.
Which some people have been doing it in regular cars. at least 1 or 2 videos are in regular cars. One
Oh.
or 2 videos are in Teslas with self-driving. The one I just showed the little clip of is in one of the new Tesla Cybertruck things, which does not have automatic driving. So yeah, no. And even if it's a stunt, all of these they physically have it over their eyes, blocking their view from the
Correct.
road anyway.
Correct.
And can we go back to viral TikTok things of dumping ice water on people's heads?
Yeah.
No.
Well, can we just like share recipes?
I'm like, I just don't get that
Just like
part.
share recipes.
Yeah.
That's what I like TikTok. Just share recipes. Here's how to make some waffles. Here's how to make some pancakes. Wonderful. This is great.
Yeah,
This is what
yeah.
social media should be for.
Yeah.
Not for doing stunts like this in a car going 80 miles an hour.
It's
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
It is just really crazy.
More waffles, less craziness.
Yeah. So we did cover XR, by the way, on the January show, the Creation Station Monthly January show just 2 weeks ago. So go back and grab that one if you want to hear 2 experts in the field talking about what XR is, what's going on inside of one of these headsets and stuff. There is also the idea that we are not getting this at the library. I know if anybody out there is like, wait, now they're available. Now Bob's going to get one because Creation Station's got all the cool stuff. Apple doesn't want this at libraries or in non-personal people's hands. It's against their terms of service. So we won't be able to get one for the library until that changes. Maybe it will in the future, and if it does, we'll try. Would you want to try one of these there, Paul?
I would. I'm curious to try it. I would. I mean, I'll level with you. I grew up on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
I want my holodeck. I like VR video games, and everything I've heard about this. I mean, I know it's $3,000, and you never buy the 1.0 version of anything.
Yeah,
but I'm going to wait a bit, and when the price goes down. But
it's closer to 4, by the way.
Yeah, probably 4.
Because there's some extra things you should be buying, and
Correct.
or also if you need glasses inserts, if you wear glasses, you need to buy a special insert and all those sorts of things. So just like many of the other devices that are similar to this, but it works. And XR is a very much up and coming thing as it's getting better and better and better. And we do have the Magic Leap and the HoloLens for people to try out. So
those are fantastic.
Yeah.
I always love going over there, and it's just so fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so fantastic.
It's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun.
I'd be curious to see where they go with the Apple Vision, where they go, like, because like this is the 1.0 version. I'll see where they are with the 4.0, especially because right now it's not open to any Google devices. It's not open to Netflix.
Yeah.
If it was open to everything and you could just sit back and watch Netflix in 3D, but I don't think they're there quite yet.
No, they're not quite. And it's also battery. One of the big things is battery life, how long those batteries work and stuff like that. One last stat to highlight for people who think, oh, well, it's going to be okay, Bob. It's not going to cause that many problems. Over 3,500 people a year die on the road in the United States alone from distracted driving. Yep. Not the craziness like this, just distracted, like looking somewhere, looking off.
This is why your insurance goes up like astronomical. My wife and I renewed our car insurance, and we're literally flabbergasted.
Yeah. And
cars are safer. Cars are made out of German steel, and cars are crumple zones, and cars are safer. Why is insurance? Because of distracted drivers.
Yeah.
This is why your insurance premiums are so crazy. And it's horrible.
The only thing in the United States that kills more people are guns.
True.
Be smart. Don't wear these things. I mean, wear it, but be in the room. Just sit down and wear it in your room. Like you said, watch TV.
Not in a car. Don't do it at 80 miles an hour. Please don't.
And the reason I stress this again is because there's 2 new papers that came out this week talking about how long we live, why we live, and some of the issues with what's affecting our longevity. The first one, and the links to these papers are in the show notes, so go click on the actual paper. You can click on the article and read it, but I put a link directly to the paper so you can go read the research and see it for yourself. The first one is on autoimmune diseases, and it turns out that it all is with the X chromosome, which is a male thing, but it affects females, they discovered, because as the female chromosomes, as they shut off sections of the X side, it changes and it creates a much higher opportunity for autoimmune diseases to latch in and affect someone. What did you?
Yeah, I read this and I did some back of the
Uh-huh.
envelope calculations.
Yeah.
And if 80% of the immune disorders are women, and they and so it's like you're talking at least 70 million women in America,
Yeah.
300 million women worldwide. This is staggering. This is not good. This is not good.
No. The reason I wanted to highlight this paper is, yes, you're right. It's a horrible thing to happen to people. It's good news in a weird way because now they have figured out one of the key vectors for this to happen.
Yep.
And partially how they figured that out was doing studies in mice on male mice, and something triggered in the researchers. They were like, wait a minute, let's go back and compare these chromosomes. And they figured out it took 4 different pieces of information from multiple studies to put this all together to say, wait, let's try this. And then they solved it.
Yep. But this is why we spent, 30 years and $3 billion mapping the human genome. Things like this, because if you can look at that step on the DNA staircase and say this person could be at risk for X or that person could be at risk for Y. If you have 10, 20, 30 years warning something might happen, you can probably do something about it.
100%. And we've got, here's this whole nice long thing. And this is another one of those pieces that came out of all of the research during the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic. We're still in it. Of all that RNA research, because that's one of the 4 studies that was able to pull this all together and create this. So, and then combine that study with another new study that says we are actually living longer, and it doesn't matter where you're from, what your race, your gender, your location is. Everybody on the planet is on an upward trend or staying steady, which is the not so great outcome of this study. Did you notice which country is staying steady at the end?
Most likely America.
Yeah. So again, some of those relatively easily things that you can fix, that you can take care of. No smoking. Cut back on drinking. Cut back on dangerous activities like
driving your Tesla at 80 miles an hour with the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Cancer, heart disease, stroke, drug overdose, and accidents are the number 1 things killing Americans, stopping our longevity as Americans from increasing.
I did see something that was interesting.
Yeah.
When you're seeing all the articles on those super weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy, I know it's still the early days and it's still the Wild West, but some of the real world examples are trickling in now, and they're seeing all of a sudden we're seeing all these articles that people on these, they're losing weight. They're also lowering heart disease, lowering blood pressure, lowering kidney disease. And they're just like, wow, I think
it is. Yeah, it's definitely a proven thing.
Yeah.
If you can lose weight, if you can lose, I think you need to lose 2 pounds to reduce your blood pressure by 4 points.
Yeah.
So if your blood pressure is 10 points over, all you need to do is lose 8 pounds of weight, and it will drop your blood pressure by over 10 points. So it is doable. It is, me, I'm walking those stairs every day, making sure I keep out of that. if I possibly can. And again, let me just throw it up on the screen just to make sure for everybody. Global study from 1990 going through to 1930. And they already have a plan in 1930 to follow up on this study to see what they predicted now in 2024 comes true in 2030. So tune in. That'll be our what is it? If we're in season 4, so that's going to be season 11, I think, or something like that when the study comes out. So tune in to season 11 and we'll talk about it.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for that one. So tell me, what's going on over at Maine Library?
Oh, we're doing a lot of cool stuff. I just did a program on resumes and cover letters. I know we have the 50th anniversary of the Broward County Libraries coming up.
Yeah, you've got a thing going on there up on the 6th floor for like it seems like all month long, I think.
Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff here. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of great events. Check out our website at broward.org/library. We got all sorts of
events, and you can look up anything going on in any of the libraries.
Stuff going all over Broward County, all the libraries. Check that out.
It's a great thing, guys. Thank you so much for being here, Paul.
Thank you for having me, Bob.
If there is a library or a librarian you want to see featured on the show one week, reach out. creationstation@broward.org. We'll see everybody next week. Have a great weekend.
See ya.